let's talk about multiclassing. Multiclassing is one of those topics that are confusing at first and will continue to be until you really sit down with it. There's one distinction I want to make quickly because it becomes important at multiple times in this video, and that is class level versus character level. When your character gains a level, you usually choose a specific class, such as wizard, sorcerer, fighter, etc., to advance in. The level you gain in that class is your class level. For instance, if you have 5 levels in the wizard class, your wizard class level is 5. Character level is the sum of all of your class levels. It represents the overall experience and power of your character, regardless of the specific class. If you have 5 levels in wizard and 3 levels in fighter, your overall character level is 8. One more example is, let's say you're playing a character named Alex. Alex starts as a level 1 wizard. After gaining enough experience points, Alex reaches level 2 and decides to multi-class into fighter. Now, at character level 3, Alex chooses to gain another level in wizard, which results in 2 class levels in wizard and 1 class level in fighter, but a character level of 3 overall. Understanding this distinction is important because certain class features and abilities depend on class level, while others depend on character level. In order to even begin thinking about multiclassing, you need the correct stats. A 13 is the minimum for all of them, but the stats themselves are different. For Barbarian, it's Strength. For Bard, it's Charisma. Cleric, Wisdom. Druid, Wisdom. Fighter, Strength or Dex. Monk, Dex and Wisdom. Paladin, Strength and Charisma. Ranger, Dex and Wisdom. Rogue, Dex. Sorcerer, Charisma. Warlock, Charisma. Wizard, Intelligence. So once again, you need a minimum of 13 in that stat in order to be able to multi-class into that class. I'll mention experience points briefly since the book does, but basically it states that the experience necessary in order for you to level up is based on your character level, not your class level. When multiclassing in D&D, you gain hit points from the new class you chose upon leveling up. House rules usually dictate if you take the average or roll the hit die of your newly acquired class that level up. For example, you start off with 10 HP as a fighter. At second level, you choose cleric and get 1d8 plus your con mod, or the average 4 plus your con mod. To determine your overall hit dice pool, add together the hit dice from all of your classes. If the hit dice are the same, combine them. For example, a level 3 paladin that multi-classes 2 levels into fighter has 5d10 hit dice, 3 from the paladin class and 2 from the fighter class. If your classes provide hit dice of different types, keep track of them separately. For instance, a level 5 paladin that multi-classed 5 levels into cleric has 5d10 from Paladin and 5d8 from Cleric. Your proficiency bonus is gained by character level, which means what class you take doesn't factor into your proficiency bonus. So from level 1, your proficiency bonus is +2, and increases by 1 at specific character levels. At level 5, it's +3, at level 9, it's +4, at level 13, it's +5, and lastly, at level 17, it's +6. So basically, every 4 levels after level 1, your proficiency bonus increases. Now, proficiencies themselves are like checkboxes. You either have the proficiency or you don't. This also means you cannot be double proficient when picking the same proficiencies while multiclassing. You gain the best assortment of proficiencies from your starting class and gain less from the class you multiclass into. Class. Your typical proficiencies are for weapons, simple and martial weapons. For armor, it's shield, light armor, medium armor, and heavy armor. And more loosely defined are your skills, tools, and languages. Now I'll talk about the proficiencies that you get with each class. Barbarians get shield, simple weapons, and martial weapons. Bards get light armor, one skill of your choice, one musical instrument of your choice. Clerics get light, medium armor, and shields. Druids get light armor, medium armor, and shields. One note here that the book makes is Druids will not wear armor or use shields made of metal. Fighter gains proficiencies with light armor, medium armor, shields, simple weapons, and martial weapons. Monk gets simple weapons and short swords specifically. Paladins get light armor, medium armor, shields, simple weapons, and martial weapons. Rangers get light armor, medium armor, shields, simple weapons, martial weapons, and one skill from the class's skill list. Rogue gets light armor, one skill from the class's skill list, and proficiency with thieves' tools. Warlock gets light armor and simple weapons. One thing to note here is wizards and sorcerers gain no proficiencies when multiclassing. Last thing to keep in mind are class features have some rules associated with them. Channel divinities basically say that you get the feature of the channel divinity, but don't gain additional uses when you multiclass. This really only applies when you're multiclassing as a cleric paladin or vice versa. Clerics can get up to 3 uses while paladins only get 1 at 3rd level. So starting as a paladin up to level 3 and then multiclassing 2 levels into cleric only gives you a total of 1 channel divinity, but all the features from both classes. Only once you invest 6 total levels into cleric as a level 3 paladin would you get a second use of channel divinity. Gaining extra attack from another class does not give you an extra attack. Similarly to clerics, fighters are the ones that get up to 3 extra attacks, while other classes like ranger, paladin, monk, and barbarian only get 1. Now, spellcasting is intimidating at first, but luckily I'm here to walk you through it. For spells known, you learn them based on what class or class feature learned them. For instance, both wizards and sorcerers have the spell Fireball in their spell list. The way you cast the spell is based off of the class that learned it. So if you learn Fireball while leveling up or copying a scroll as a wizard, the wizard's spellcasting ability Intelligence is what you would use to cast Fireball. This is probably the most confusing, or at least the most bookkeeping you'll have to do. So to summarize, the way you cast the spell is the way that you learned how to cast it. Next is spell slots, which requires a bit of math to determine your quote-unquote spell level, and a reference to the table provided on page 165 of the player handbook. So now to do this super hard algorithmic calculation, you're going to need to add up your levels in Bard, Cleric, Druid, Sorcerer, and Wizard. Then you add up half of the class levels in Ranger and Paladin, because these are considered half-casters, and only 1/3 of your class levels if you are an Eldritch Knight Fighter or Arcane Trickster Rogue. Remember to always round down. So if I have a level 1 Bard that multiclasses into a level 1 Sorcerer, that then multiclasses 4 levels into Paladin, and then lastly 9 levels into Arcane Trickster, I would net a total spell level of 7. 1 level from Bard, 1 level from Sorcerer. 4 divided by 2 gives you 2 levels from Paladin, and 9 divided by 3 would give you 3 levels from Arcane Trickster. From here, looking at the table, a spell level of 7 gives you 4 first level spell slots, 3 second level, 3 third level, and 1 fourth level spell slot. Notice that Warlock is kept out of this calculation because they use Pact Magic, which is different from spellcasting, even though Warlock still casts spells. Pact Magic spell slots and regular spell slots, when multiclassing, are tracked separately, as Pact Magic spell slots can be recovered on short rests, and the neat thing here is Pact Magic spell slots can be used to cast any spell you have prepared. With that said, levels in Warlock do not contribute to your spell level. That's all I've got for this video. DMs and players, send this to someone who has struggled with understanding multiclassing. I got my socials in the script down below, so if you have any video suggestions or just want to say hi, please reach out. I would also like to hear some of your favorite multi-class combinations in the comments down below. And while you're there, Feel free to like, subscribe, and do all the other YouTube things. I'm DNDev, your code-slinging wizard. Thank you for watching. New videos soon. Until then, I'll catch you in the next one.